Hi,
Hi.
Andrew. Hi. Congratulations on Resident Evil. I think the fans of the games are really going to be super into the show, but also people who aren't familiar are really going to be drawn in by the Wesker family, the Marcus family, and also the nonstop action and horror elements. So in particular, I love how you explain the volcano death, and then you introduce a fan favorite character at the very end. It was very expertly done. There's so many Easter eggs for fans to look out for. So I'm curious, what are some specific ones that you were really excited by?
I think, when it comes to the lore and things like that, we wanted to kind of acknowledge it without, necessarily overloading the average viewer. So I think for me, kind of the Wesker story and kind of, with the clones and how he died, that's the thing I'm most excited for people to see, because I think when people are seeing the trailers, they're like, well, how did Albert Wesker go from game uber villain to like suburban dad? Like, how did that happen? And people are confused by it, but that's the confusion that we wanted. You know what I mean? So I think as we get to explain that, I'm very excited to see how the fans kind of react to that. And then also some of the monsters that you may be familiar with from the games. Sometimes you haven't seen them outside of, pixels, now kind of brought to life on the bigger, medium-sized screen, we'll say.
Yeah. So since you brought up the creatures, I have to say, which ones did you geek out over?
All of them. I'll admit, it's interesting because you write these things and it's a line on the script, it's a giant caterpillar emerges and you're like, okay, but then it's 6 months of work about people way more talented than you to kind of bring that to life. So getting to see them all as they came in kind of piece by piece was just fantastic.
Yeah. And I have to bring up Mother Zero. She was my favorite.
Yes. Amazing. And that was, and I'll say that like the actress that played her was amazing. And like the scream you hear in the show, that's her real scream. Like usually in these shows, you'll have to go and like juice that up or like, oh, it's not her. We kind of made our own thing in post-production. No, that's her. She was fantastic.
Wow. Man. And then I loved Jade with the chainsaw, and then the scavenger hunt was adorable. And then Paola's Dua Lipa number, amazing. And then the clones, as you mentioned. So what are some moments that you feel most proud of?
I think, it's interesting because I think there's some really cool signature moments. I think kind of the action scene in the Brotherhood kind of bunker fortress thing is really cool. I think the Doberman attack came together really well. But actually a lot of the scenes that I'm the most proud of are kind of the smaller scenes. You know what I mean? A lot of the stuff between the sisters, because I think hopefully that's what the audience will really engage with. You know what I mean? Going on these journey with these people, the things between, the sisters and their father, between, Jade and her daughter in the future storyline. My hope is that's kind of stuff that maybe you're not expecting, because you're expecting zombies and you're expecting action, you're expecting monsters, but there's some character stuff that I think people may not be expecting that I hope they really enjoy.
So tell me about the casting of the family. What were you looking for in the different actors that were playing the Wesker family, older and younger?
It was really challenging because you've got, obviously Lance playing Albert is not just playing Albert Wesker, he's playing 4 different roles over the course of the season. And Lance, you just hear his voice and you're like, he projects authority, but he played every single one of those roles amazingly. So that was kind of step one. And then you're looking for people that could kind of, match him in scenes. You know what I mean? You get actors who are in scenes with actors who maybe aren't a little bit more experienced or whatever. And you could really kind of tell even in the production. So when we looked at Tamara and Siena, who had been in, a lot of television themselves and just came in and did amazing. And then obviously when you're looking to the future and in Jade, that's a really demanding role. It's both demanding emotionally, but also very demanding physically. And so to find someone like Ella who could kind of tick every box was, again, we just felt incredibly lucky. And then, Paola and Adeline, same thing. I really feel we got incredibly lucky in this cast.
I agree. Well, thank you so much. I hope there's a season 2. Is there a season 2? I hope. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.